I can just tell you that from my personal experience, I think the Redmi Note 10 Pro will be the last Xiaomi device I own.
Flashback.
I asked on Twitter if you guys wanted a video about me selling my Redmi Note 10 Pro, and more of you responded yes than I was expecting. So I thought I would give you guys a short synopsis of my 6 months of ownership with the device, and then maybe touch on why I sold it. Now, after 6 months of ownership, I have to say that there's a lot of things that are great about the device. It's got a flagship E3 Super AMOLED display. It gets really, really bright. It's got a brighter display than my Samsung S20 FE, and it's something that I definitely miss when transitioning between devices. The camera is fine during the daytime. Gcam doesn't really fix the issues that I had with it, and overall, the camera feels like a $230, $240 cell phone camera. Just saying, even with Gcam. That said, Gcam only makes certain parts of it better. It doesn't fix video, but enough about the camera. Speed, overheating, gaming. So speed of the device in a cool climate or when I'm using the device indoors was good. It was totally adequate to do most things with. That said, the moment I took it out in the Vietnam summer, where it's like 36 degrees C, 33 degrees C, even in that range, and the device would get hot, it would throttle. And when you're already running that mid-range SoC at its max to get good performance out of it, the moment you start to throttle it, more than a few times I had overheating warnings. When I would try to live stream onto TikTok outside, it would take the live stream down to like 5 to 8 frames per second. So performance-wise, fine indoors, fine in cool climates. Gaming-wise, I didn't do a ton of gaming on it, but the gaming experience I had on it was smooth. Didn't really have a lot in the way of overheating. And I think that performance of the device is perfect for someone that doesn't need or want to have a top level spec. So if your usage case is some light gaming, maybe taking a few photos for Instagram, browsing social media, email, that's good. And the fact that it's got the SD card support makes it a media powerhouse, huge display, good stereo speakers. And overall, I thought that it was fine for that kind of intent and purpose. Build quality with the device. Build quality with it felt fine. That said, it rattled. I had a rattle from the camera area, and this is a Samsung with OIS on 2 lenses. And I can hear the slightest of rattles. Much less rattly than the Redmi Note 10 Pro. This is not a direct comparison. I talked about some of the things I liked and hated, and I'll have a link to that video up here for you guys. Battery life, consistently with the device at 60 Hertz, and we will talk about the 60 Hertz versus 120 Hertz in a second, but consistently with the device at 60 Hertz, mixed use of Wi-Fi and 4G, mostly Wi-Fi, not direct sunlight, so medium to lower screen brightness. I was getting 8.5 to 9 hours screen on time consistently, and usually I could get it up to 10 hours, and it was great for that. I would tell you, if you're buying the device to run the device at 120 Hertz, you are going to be disappointed, because in my personal experience, the 120 Hertz fluid display experience that I was hoping for. I did not get that. And it certainly didn't feel the same way as it does on my S20 FE. Obviously, there's a SoC difference, but I think that for devices with a low to mid-tier SoC, 120 hertz just shows you all of the stutters. It doesn't make it feel smooth. It just lets you see all of the imperfections in the operating system. And now I want to talk a little bit about my software experience, because so we were promised Xiaomi MIUI 12.5 enhanced edition. And people were talking about it's gonna make everything smoother, it's gonna make everything better, everything is gonna be fixed. And I still had some super consistent bugs. And I've had this bug with every Xiaomi device, and people actually, and maybe I can put a screenshot up of this, but someone messaged me and was like, hey, if I record a 30-second Instagram story, I can't upload the last 30 seconds of it. I can only upload the first 30 seconds of it in MIUI on my device. What bug is this? I was like, you tell me, I have the same fucking bug. Being able to share a video directly out of YouTube Studio, I could never do that on any of my Xiaomi devices. I would have to open it in YouTube and then copy paste the URL. And I didn't know if that was a YouTube Studio bug or a Xiaomi bug. And it took me flashing AOSP onto my Xiaomi Mi Pad 4. I'll have tons of videos about that up here. And then using the S20 for me to realize that no, that's just a pretty hardcore MIUI bug, because my Poco had this bug, my K20 had the bug, K30 had the bug, my Mi Note 10 Pro had this bug, and my Mi 10 had this bug. So it's just a MIUI bug. And that's to say that ultimately I got rid of the device because in my personal experience, there were quite a few software things that just made the device something I didn't want to hold on to. Lack of frequent updates and security patches, big one. MIUI 12.5 enhanced, or whatever the most recent one was, which, by the way, was MIUI 12.5.8 the enhanced edition, or did we still not get the enhanced edition even though this is a phone that Xiaomi released 6.5 months ago? You tell me. I can't keep all their devices straight. So ultimately, I got rid of the device because MIUI is, it always feels kind of like a work in progress. As much as I like it, and in many ways I like it a lot more than One UI. Hopefully One UI 4 will fix that, right? But I think that if you want to get a device that's more than $350, $400, I would totally tell you to skip Xiaomi devices 100% and buy a used Samsung device, because you are going to get just a better overall experience. And this is coming from someone that's owned a lot of mid to high-end Xiaomi devices. And I'm speaking from experience. I bought my S20 FE used here in Vietnam for like $330. You could probably get one for under $400 used in whatever country you're in. And that puts you smack dab in line with Poco F3 prices. I would see no reason to get the Poco over an S20 FE. It puts you right in line with K40 Pro, or whatever the Mi version of that is, which would be like the Mi 11T, right? I would tell you totally get the used Samsung device over that. even at like the $450, $500 mark, at that point, you're looking at used Galaxy S21s, which you could choose a used Samsung Galaxy device or a new Xiaomi Mi 11, and you are going to get a better camera experience with Samsung. You are going to get longer software support because, again, the Mi 11 isn't going to get the 3 years of security updates. So I would get Samsung. Comparing it to Realme devices, Realme's kind of the same thing with software, but I can just tell you that from my personal experience, I think the Redmi Note 10 Pro will be the last Xiaomi device I own as my personal phone. Unless Xiaomi comes out with a device that has an incredible camera and it's like their non-$1,000 phone, then I might be interested. But if there's one thing I've learned from my time with Samsung, it's that the software polish and the software experience for the camera is so much more important than the hardware. And that's it. I don't know what Xiaomi devices I would get if Xiaomi releases a follow-up device like the Xiaomi Mi Note 10 Pro, which would be like a mid-range device with a flagship camera. I would pick that up because I want to see what they can do in the mid-range to disrupt other high-end devices and beat them out on their camera, because Xiaomi is not going to beat you on software. They're not going to beat you on updates. They're maybe going to beat you in performance, but that's it.